In the name of the fauna, the sun, and the holy innocence of nature, we are here to protect pigeons. They are peace doves. They are peace doves. And I'm gonna say this. The NYPD, you rock! You rock! Thank you for arresting that person. And now it is upgraded from 311 to 911. You call 911 if you see a pigeon netting. This is no joke here. We adore and love pigeons. They are New Yorkers. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you. On the pigeon.
Thank you very much, Curtis. So we're going to have Mother Pigeon say a few words.
Merciful people like myself, but we are few and far between. Our city is designed exclusively
Between animal abuse and violence towards humans has been well documented by medical experts, the FBI, and police officials.
Huh? Can you tell me why you're here today? It's our first birthday. We didn't know this was going to go on, but we were coming here for our first birthday.
What does this mean to you?
Oh my God.
Pigeons are the symbol of New York City, as underscored by the dinosaur behind it.
It's not good because they mate for life. And imagine, like, you have like a husband or a boyfriend or somebody you really care about. What if they or you were taken miles away from your home and you had a vague direction of how to get back, but you had to run and run and run to get back to your loved ones? And oh, there might be wolves that are trying to chase you and eat you alive too. You wouldn't like that at all. These pigeons, they mate for life, and then they're taken out of the state all the way to Pennsylvania, and they are essentially used for sport to either be shot or who knows what pigeon racing even may be.
Thank you all for joining me
And
today.
what's her name?
This is Osprey.
John Leonardo from millions of years ago. But the pigeons in New York City are more recently the descendants of birds domesticated and brought from Europe centuries ago. Pigeons, also known as rock doves, flew in wars alongside our veterans, using their legendary navigational abilities and loyalty establishing flocks in our skyscrapers, which resemble the rocky cliff faces. Protests, confronted suspects, and sounded the alarm on pigeons being abducted for cruel canned hunts in Pennsylvania. Last week, progress was made. A man by the name of Dwayne Daly was confronted by a brave New Yorker and arrested by the NYPD as he held.
You see a coalition of animal lovers here. It's not political. It involves Democrats, Republicans, Independents. It has no party label other than to love animals and care for animals. As a 5-year-old boy, I took care of the pigeons on the roof of my grandfather and grandmother's house in Canarsie, Brooklyn. My uncle had pigeons, and you develop a love for these animals. They're intelligent. They had their own personalities. They were homing pigeons, as was earlier described, how they were utilized by our troops to get messages back and forth before the advent of the radio. But the real pigeons that I fell in love with were the street pigeons. And unfortunately, there are some who have vilified them. My wife Nancy is here today. We live on the Upper West Side. We walk down the streets and she cries as people put spikes onto their ledges to prevent pigeons from coming there instead of plastic owls, which is a much more humane way of dealing with that situation. They'll scream at you if you feed the pigeons. What do they want? The pigeons to starve? It's as if they view the pigeons as the worst imaginable thing that could happen in New York City. Well, I also happen to be running for mayor of the city of New York. Today we have on the streets the first petition for the Protect Animals line, and that encompasses all animals. And we have a city flag that many of you have seen since you first went in the assembly with the American flag, the New York State flag, and the city flag. There's a bird on that flag. Between one of the Dutch, one of the native...
We'll now turn this over to Mr. Curtis Sliwa before we hear from several of the pigeon caregivers whose flocks have been poached.
Just as we see here in this iconic location to the pigeon, because the pigeon is the bird of New York City. It's the bird of all the people. It represents the working class people of New York City. We need to protect them, preserve them, and make sure all the DAs throw the book at anybody who comes into New York City to kidnap these lovely creatures. It's a serious crime, treated as such, because we view these pigeons as part of our community in New York City. And if the DAs won't treat it seriously and the police, well, then we're going to make sure this becomes a priority issue. At least I promise you as
Heartbreaking, including, sadly, an abundance of pigeon haters. Their lives are truly...
Pigeon.
You want to know where you can be signed up?
Yeah, just check out Mother Pigeon. Yeah, just Google it.
Merciful people like myself, but we are few and far between. Our city is designed exclusively...
Thank you. I want to give you a pigeon. Hold on.
Thank you. We were gonna buy some from you anyways. You want one?
Can you tell me again, sorry, because I wasn't filming, like, that you
Yeah.
drove here for the birthday and for the
Yeah.
statue?
She was turning 1 year old, so we decided a few months ago that we were going to come here and get a photo with her with the giant pigeon for her birthday. But we had no idea this was all going to happen today. But it's nice that it is, because it really needs to be talked about. Because they're domestic pets that we abandoned years and years and years ago because we used to use them for war and messages. And now they're just kind of looked at as street rats when they gave us so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
I appreciate it.
A relatively sophisticated ring of guys that are bringing these animals to Pennsylvania for these shoots. I think there are people involved in New York City as well as people in Pennsylvania, as we saw with Wayne Daly.
And do you believe they're working together, or is this a separate, they're working independently? How do you guys see this going on?
I think that's up to the NYPD to investigate and hopefully arrest these guys and prosecute them so they'll roll over on some of their colleagues so we get more information and we stop this in New York City.
Benson has been helping me in the park. Look out for the
Activists and joining them.
I'll be there.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, you can speak to me or Ella, we'll give you all the details. I want to say too, our colleagues at PETA who brought this lovely banner behind us. That says, Pigeons, great parents, war heroes, smart and resourceful. Respect them.
Yes.
They're going to be having another demo tomorrow. They're going to do this banner drop in Tompkins Square Park.
Get these laws passed, and the police are going to enforce the laws by arresting people who commit criminal acts against our local wildlife. We have to put the pressure on the DA's office to do his job, to step up and